I have a question. And what is a man but thousands of questions that have been answered? And the question that I have is particularly relating to furries and just something that I've been intrigued about them for a while. Now, I know too much about furries for someone who is not a furry. I've had a lot of stuff on my feed and it's just like a car crash. I can't look away. I've seen the Andrew McCutcheon foolish baseball video where apparently he's the best when there's furries around. I've just seen all like the random niche stuff. I know so many terminologies of that they use. It is a bad thing that I know this much about furries. But one thing that I've always been confused about, and one thing that I've never understood, is how the idea of closed species in the furry community works. And I've tried looking this up. I tried looking it up today before I talked about this, and it always just confuses me a little bit more. I really don't understand how they work. All I know is that they're apparently these species or whatever that like apparently you could like to pay or like do something or win a raffle or whatever to get the rights to make your persona on it. And I've always been confused on how that works, and I don't really know because like what is the enforcement practices for this type of idea in the sense of like do people just copyright a species as a whole? They say I made up this new species and therefore it is my IP is my intellectual property and I'm the only person who can do it. Is that how it works? Or are they just kind of like, is it just like a top 10 FIFA respect moment where everyone just goes by these rules and then, doesn't create their own art and persona off of these closed species? Because I have really no idea how it works. And I really don't know how it is enforced. And maybe it's just, a following out of, maybe it's just like a shortcoming of my international copyright knowledge because I don't understand how this works in any way. Because, like, I've just thought about it for a long time, where it literally was just like these people being assholes, saying like, "I came up with this idea of mine, like I will sue anyone who makes their persona off of the species that I made." And instead of like it actually being like a legitimate thing, people just didn't want to go through the pain of the litigation process to be like, "No, you can't copyright a species that you made up," because like obviously I understand you can't copyright like being a dog or a cat or a wolf or whatever. I would assume that's not something you can do. So I don't know like the extremeness and the uniqueness that it would require for someone to copyright their own species and make it so that that is something that they cannot do. This has been something that I've never understood, and like I don't even know if it's like a big deal in the area or it's just like people being annoyed at these losers like saying like it's my work of art, you can't take it from me, or how like big of a thing this is even in the community. It is just something that I really have wanted to know about how it is viewed and how it works in any way. Because like once again, I do know far too much about furries, and one man should know. And this is like the one thing that kind of has befuddled me to this point. It has become quite the conundrum to my brain and to my idea that to my I don't even fucking know what I'm saying. It has been quite the conundrum to me that I have not been able to figure out what this is because like I feel like if I were to see this, I don't even know how to like I can't even like possibly think of an analogy to like make it more relatable to me in any way. But like if someone were to I guess make some shit up and said only I can use this, and like even though the entire point of this community is to like be artsy and have fun and like be unique and be to yourself, I feel like that's just kind of counterintuitive to the entire idea of what being a furry is, from what I understand. Where people want to express themselves and they say, well, except for this part of expression is actually locked off by a paywall, and also you get to like either auction it or win a raffle. That really doesn't make any sense to me in any way. And like I've read that apparently like if you break the closed species thing, like you can be not allowed to participate in like activities or whatever, group activities. And I don't know if this is just specifically for the species or for like the fur community as a whole, where they like kind of you become ironclad in your arms and say, you can't join this group or whatever. I have legitimately no idea. Um, because I feel like, in my opinion, this is not something that is possibly enforceable. Like, maybe I guess, I don't know if like it's like kind of when like if you want to be a Wookiee from Star Wars, like you can't really make art of that because I would assume the idea of a Wookiee follows under the idea of like IP from Star Wars, but I don't know how much like it extends to the point in which like it is enforceable under copyright law, if it's even a thing that can happen. So I have legitimately no idea, and maybe one person who is an expert in this in the furry community, because I know there's an expert in everything in that group of people. You can come over and like explain this to me. And like, I'm not even hating on furries at all because I really don't care. Like, it's whatever. You do what you want. If anything, please follow me. I want to have infinite access to the largest group of IT workers in the world, so I never have any IT problems anymore. And that'd be really convenient for me. And I would really appreciate the support in that regard. But like, this has just been the most confusing thing to me. So I really don't know, and I still don't know, and I've tried to know, but I do not know what the entire idea around this is, and like how big of a deal and how massively invasive it is into this community. Because once again, quite legitimately have no idea how it works, and I don't think I will understand how it works unless someone who is actually in this group of people explains it to me, like I'm a 2-year-old child who is first understanding words for the first time. And especially if they're able to, explain why or why not it is applicable that you can, copyright or claim that a entire species of like animal or a new species that you made up is under IP laws. Because I know it's not like, once again, you can't like say I own the dogs now. All the dogs are mine. What point does it become copyrightable and all that stuff like that? I have legitimately no idea in any way. I don't really know. It has just been something that like I saw once again on Twitter that I got reminded of it, and it is something that occasionally will be in my mind, and I do wonder how it works. I do wish to know this greater piece of information, and also what the insider take and the insider views of it are from someone looking on the outside. But if this gets answered, what a wonderful day today is. And once again, another question of my life has been answered. And so, that's really it for today. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.